Your boy's back. It is Thursday. I was about to say Saturday. Damn. But yeah, it's Thursday. We all know that the market's been tweaking this week because of the bear news coming out and all of them things there. So market's tweaking. Let's see what the market is giving us. So if you watched my previous video, remember yesterday I was saying this point here is weak, is going to get violated. What happened? It got violated and we tapped into the extreme. Let me just put this as extreme so everybody can see it. Extreme supply. You can see it right here. Simple. This is why we use extreme and decisional. But cool. Extreme has been tapped into. Now let's read it. If I was to read it on here as well, what happened? Here we just made a high. Nothing really there. At this point, we came and mitigated here. So we have a divergence here. This high has been broken on EU, on GU. This hasn't been broken. So what does that mean? Let's find out. Cool. So if this led to the breaker structure, what led to the breaker structure? Let's just put BOS here. BOS. What led to the breaker structure, we're going to find out. And if this was the efficiency of the pullback, right, meaning that we came back to supply, what led to that? And let's see if it's been broken. So currently on a 4H, everything kind of looks a bit mad. So we marked our highs. Just remember that. This is a 4-hour time frame. And now we're going to find out what really happened. So, in fact, I'm going to end up deleting all of this. I know yesterday we used it and stuff. I don't like doing this because I like to go back in a week to see exactly what happened. So let me not delete it. You're going to have to struggle. And if you can't really see it properly, watch my previous video. You'll understand what happened here. But I can't delete this. I like seeing my shit on there. It looks a bit messy. But trust me, at the end of the week, when you're doing a recap of your week, it makes a lot of sense. You start to see if you drew your zones properly or not. But anyway, enough of the yapping. What happened? So, obviously, this point would have been a decisional, right? And it's been broken. Why would that be the decisional? Because that is the last down candle on a 4H. That is the last candle on a 4H, this point here, which led for us to go and break this high and tap into the extreme. Yeah. On this point here, where would that be? This is the BOS. Where's the last down candle before that? Okay, we had a BOS here of this external. In fact, it was a weak one. So we expected that to fail, but let's just delete that. Cool. We came from here, broke this point here. So we came from here and broke this point and this point. So ideally, I would just say, let's put it here. It's below the previous breaker structure. So that would be the extreme. That would be the decisional. And where would the extreme be? The extreme would be here. Or you could say, you know what? This is the break or led to that break. We can now factorize it and say, you know what? This was the low. So ideally, this is the external low. You don't come from, but that's nowhere near. So let's just stick to the decisional for now. And we'll just make this as the immediate extreme. We can do that. But we know it could fail if we're doing that. So you just got to be careful. That's the thing about extreme and decisional. You can use them discretionarily, like how we're doing here, where we just found a decisional and then we're just looking at the low. If we're looking at market structure, we came down and went up, right? So this down and went up. Ideally, this whole point would be the decisional. But however, this is the last point. This is the last candle that led to the breaker structure. So we classify this. If nothing happens here on a lower time frame, fair enough. We know that we're going further down into this point here. If that breaks, then we know that none of this is gonna hold, and we're coming all the way down to here. All right. Let me just draw that out. But this is not. We're nowhere near that. So let's just forget about all of this and just focus on the decisionals for now. So cool. Here, decisional has been broken. Here, decisional has not been tapped into yet. So what does that mean? That means that there's potential that it could be going down, right? There's a potential that it could be going down. We've broken decisional. Maybe we're coming to the extreme. Where would the extreme be? This was where if we're looking at this internal range, which led to this tap, it started from here. So this will be the extreme. All right. Extreme. And of course, we had our decisional here, which obviously broke. But this on a full H. I've spent too much time here already. Let's go on with M15 or M30. Now we can really understand where the extremes and decisionals are on this time frame. So on this time frame now, what are we looking at? Remember we said this was the decisional. Let's bring it down to the last down candle. And we remove this point here. We'll come back to that. Remove that point there. So what happened? From here, we done a build up, inducement, push out. Went all the way and tapped into the extreme. Then when we tapped into the extreme, what happened? We came back, violated the decisional. What was the OB that led to this violation of this point here? That's what we need to find. This point here, what violated this point here? This BOS here. What violated it? Was it a straight break? It looks like it was a straight break. So this here, this was a straight break, and then this led the show, right? So we can just put this as supply for now. We can just put this as supply for now. Supply. Oh, damn. I don't like using that supply. I'll just put... Haven't I got a normal supply? You know what? Let's make a normal supply. Because all of this, I use it, but it's not with context of what I'm using it for right now. So let's just put supply. Ugh. It's London Open, but I'm taking time because I know that we're nowhere near the thing yet. But anyway, sale was this. This would have been a decisional, obviously after breaking all of this, right? So that ideally is not the decisional, but we can just say that, you know, we had a sweep here. Let's just say we had a sweep here, and the decisional of that would have been here, and we've broken it. Right, before we broke the structure, what was the decisional? Let me zoom in a bit. Before we broke the structure here, what led to that? What led to that break? It was this point here, right? Where we can configure it and say it was this whole point here. One sec. We can say it was this whole point here because we had this liquidity being taken. Oh, let me just delete this. We had this liquidity being taken, and we went all the way up, breaking this external structure here. So this will be the decisional. And what have we done? We've come and broken it. Have we tapped into the extreme? Where would the extreme be? I would say, looking at this, we have this down candle coming. I mean, this down momentum coming down. Then from here, that's when we started going up to make it. So I would say the extreme will be here. Extreme. Because if you look at it, this from here to here is one range. And then from here to here is also one range because we broke it. But before we broke it, we had a bit of internal structure. This will be the last internal structure that we had with a sweep that led to that. So this would essentially be, let me just delete this. So yeah, this would essentially be, you know what, let me remove this thing here so you can now see it properly. I'll go. Cool. So look, this, so we have the decisional after breaking this point here. Do we go straight away? Yeah, we broke this point, this external high here. Well, it's not an external high. This is the external high, but we broke this internal range here. What led to that break? We all know that it was here, right? It was here. In fact, this was part of it as well. And we've mitigated. So we kind of have the efficiency of the pullback right now. Remember, this is all subjective, as this did lead to breaking this and this as well. So fair enough, we can consider it, and we can say, you know what, this was just a lower time frame decisional, which led to that break. Does that make sense? So ideally, this will be the decisional of this. No, this will be the extreme of this decisional. But it all gets confusing having two decisions like this. So what we do is, we like to do this. This is the main breaker structure. This is where we tapped into the thing, right? This is where the divergence is. If we go on a H1 now, which one has an inducement? This one does, but hey, this one doesn't really as well, but we will just put it like this, because it's below. This has been broken. Ideally, yeah, it's because, let me try to figure this out quickly, because, yeah, so it'll be this one. So this ain't really a decisional. Let me just remove all of this. This ain't really a decisional. It's not really a down candle. However, there's a fair value gap here. You can see, but we haven't tapped this down candle yet. I literally just stick it to the down candles. So if you ever have two decisional at once, just go on a higher time frame like your M4 and find out where the last down candle is, because it's most likely going to be that one. Kind of at this point, I'm just deleting a minute, but yeah, it's most likely going to be this one here. Decisional, all right? Decisional hasn't been tapped into yet. The decisional that led to this break and that break. We could say price could just bounce off here and go. Very true, but we haven't tapped into this decisional yet. So now let's go back on the M15. M15, what are we seeing? So if we're looking at it, we know that, okay, there's POIs below us for us to chase. What current daily profile do we have? Or, yeah, what current daily profile do we have? If I was to just go on, Control 3. Yeah, perfect. So what do we have? Currently, we know that we have decisional and extreme below us, right? So we might be looking for the pre-tap. We haven't tapped into it yet. Or we could either have this, because on GU, we've had the decisional being broken, which led to us going all the way here. But if we go on a 4H, that decisional was actually here. So you can come from. This is what led price to go here, then from here. In fact, this will be the extreme. It's weird to see it like this, but just look at it as I know there's extreme here and extreme here, but when I say there's an extreme and there's another extreme, I'm basically talking about it on a lower time frame, right? On a lower time frame range that we got, the range that we got, if we go on a 1H and I put it on like this and remove, let's just say everything, what do we see? This high broken. What led to that was this point here, right? And then where's the next high? So I would say this is where structure was struggling to break, right? From here, what broke it? It was this point here. So ideally, our decisional will be here. So we ain't tapped into decisional yet. But however, this is a demand zone which led to price going further up to tap into this point here and even here as well. So if I was to put this on, look. So ideally, if we're struggling to find our decisional, it will be here, because this was the breaker structure. Let's say this was the breaker structure. Let me overlay things again. This was the breaker structure that broke the decisional. We went up there, came down, mitigated. So we went up there, mitigating in internal ranges, used that to go and hit the extreme. Now we're coming down. This is still a demand zone, by the way. So the actual extreme will be, the actual decisional would be somewhere like here, but as you're seeing, there's no liquidity. It's just trend line, so that's likely to fail as well. So currently, we know that we have, oh shit. I know you lot might find it a bit confusing, but if you ever find it confusing, just do what I've done. Go on the line chart, read it. This is the decisional, right? Because from this point, we led to this break here. This was the last inducement, let's say, that led to us coming to break this. So that's the decisional. We've broken it here. And then obviously if I put the thing on, see we went all the way to the extreme. This is the decisional, internal decisional, and this is the extreme. But again, if you were to look at it properly, it won't be this, would it? In terms of this range, this from here to there, that is the extreme. But if you're looking at it from here to there, the decisional will be here and the extreme will be here. So you get where I'm coming from now. The decisional and extreme, you can have it on different time frames. But we just use the immediate one that we currently have. And we look for that to either get respected or disrespected. Cool, now we found that out. We currently haven't tapped into the decisional yet. All right, we haven't tapped into this decisional that led to this internal break and carried on for price to go in here. We haven't hit that yet. But if we're looking at this range, what do we see? We have trend line liquidity right here that we could target. Are we taking a full trend line? No. If we look here, what do we have? We also have trend line liquidity here that we could also target. and we haven't finished taking out that trend line yet. All right, so cool. We know that currently Thursday now. We're looking at something like this. The pre-tap. We haven't tapped it yet. So what could happen? We could trade it to come down, or we could wait for the tap to happen and trade for that to go. That's what we know. Then if we look at daily profiles now, daily profiles, clearly we're not in a buy one. We're not in a buy profile. Why? Because we haven't tapped into none of the decisionals yet, none of the point of interest yet. So, and we know that lower time frame, we've disrespected the decisional, so we could be coming to the extreme, which would be here, being another decisional on the higher time frame. So if that's the case, we're looking for a sell profile. What sell profile fits this? Quick thing to realize is this one takes Asia high. Normal protraction, we took our Asia high. Between midnight open and Frankfurt open, Asia high should have been taken. If it's a delayed protraction from midnight open to Frankfurt open, we should have taken Asia low. So which one fits the narrative? Which one fits the narrative for this one here? Simple. Asia high is here. Let's go on to M5 to read this properly. M5, and then let's just put this on this. So if you look on the M5 now, what do we see? We have Asia high being here. It hasn't been taken yet. Between midnight and Frankfurt open, let me just put Frankfurt open here, which will be 2 o'clock. What happened? Asia low got taken. So from this point here to here, Asia low got taken. Same for here as well. From this point to Frankfurt, Asia low got taken. Okay, cool. So now let's find out the inducement that led to that. The inducement would be this up candle here. That started everything. All right. We have that one, and we also have, so let me just show this out. So we have this point here, which led to us breaking here. Then we came up, had this one here, bringing us down to here. If I look here, what do we have? We have the same thing. This point here being induced, came down, broke this, mitigation, push out, come in to take out this point here. All right, so ideally this is the extreme. This would be the extreme of that range. All right, this will be the extreme where the inducement happened. Because remember, we're not expecting Asia high to get taken. We're looking for a mitigation right now. So this will be the last up candle, right? Being extreme where the inducement happened. Ooh. So it's basically inducement supply. I just call it extreme. So cool. We have that, and then we also have the decisional. Right? The decisional will be this point here, which led to price coming down. Decisional of that range, right? This one here, we have the extreme supply, and then we have, do we have a decisional from here? We came down. Okay, came down again. Okay, so we have the decisional being here, this up candle here. These points here. This will be the decisional. Right? Okay, cool. If we were to look at this leg here, what would be the decisional? This point here would be the decisional. So you see how you can have multiple decisionals and things, but it's just you're going to disqualify all of them. So if this is the decisional, then ideally meaning this would not be a decisional. Even though we went up there and had a high, but this will not be the decisional. So maybe we might disrespect the decisional and go and tap into the extreme. All right? But we do know that currently we have, looking at what daily profiles saying, we have a delayed protraction still there. So if that's the case, London open, ideally we should have just bounced off this and went, because this would have been an inducement. However, we violated that. So is it still a London? Sorry, not in London. Is it still a delayed protraction sell day? We have an invalidation right here. So London open, we should have just bounced off something here. But at least maybe we're coming up to take more liquidity and come into Asia midpoint. We've got to read that as well. It doesn't mean that straight away we should have the thing. It's just, the thing is, Asia high shouldn't be disrespected. So if there's we have the demand zones and say supply zones and decisionals above. Let's see how we react there, because from here we could have the 1, 2, and then we could get in on a 2 leg. It still fits the narrative because Asia high hasn't been broken yet. Let me just go on this. Asia high hasn't been broken yet. As you can see, sometimes we come all the way to Asia midpoint, or we could just do boom boom and keep going. So right now we're at this decisional, right? And we're at this decisional here as well, which led to the breaker structure. You could say it will be this, right? But think about it this way. Let me draw this line properly so I know for a fact which one led to that break. Okay, so it wasn't that. This was what led to the break. So this would have been the decisional, but ideally is the extreme. This would be the decisional. So from this here we came down, then from there, so we had a 2 leg basically. 1 leg tapping into this point here, and that's demand zone I was talking about. Came down, pick out this liquidity, counted this, went up here, fell to break the high. It fell to break the high, and then what do? We came down, breaking this point here. We broke it here. This is ideally the supply that led to that, but it will be this fat piece of meat here. And then, of course, this point being an inducement, which led us to coming further down after the breaker structure. So basically being a mitigation. Basically, because it's a mitigation, we can actually induce this point and maybe come further into here. It's possible. But let's see what happens. But ideally, when did this happen? 1:25, okay. And this is 2 o'clock right now. So we know that we have a Frankfurt trap, because right now we're going up for no reason. What did we mitigate that we're going up from? Nothing. This point here, you could say, this being the last point after creating this whole thing, we could say that. So we just draw that out. Have we tapped that yet? No, we haven't. No, we haven't. But if I was to just do it like this, put it to this down candle here as well. Have we tapped it? Okay, we have tapped it. If I was to look here, same thing here as well. If this is equal highs, this is the last bit that led to this break. So if I was to just do, just move this to here, have we tapped it? Oop, move this to here. No, not that one. To this point here. Have we tapped it? Yes, we have. So you see how now we can look at, okay, these are essentially Asia suppliers. So we don't like trading those. Those could fail. They're weak ones. And if we were to look here, the inducement happened all the way up there, right? Bringing us down to this demand here and not breaking structure yet. So this has given us a push. If Asia high gets taken, then we know that, guess what? Is a manipulated sell day profile. A delay protraction sell day manipulated. So we see now what happens. Asia high gets taken. Okay, cool. Maybe the daily profile today is not going to work. Hence why I haven't taken a trade yet. Because when this got disrespected at 2:45, I just thought, yeah, there's no trade right now. But hey, let's see what happens. I've got a 45 now. This is the last point within Asia. So let's just remove this, yeah. And just refine it to this point here. From that point to this last candle here. Then if I go on a 45 here, what do we have? This is the last point which led to the break. So ideally is still this point here and this point here. Oh, yeah, this point here. So when we just remove the decisional. This one is respecting the decisional, which was this candle here. being this one here. This one violated the decisional, went straight to the extreme. So let's see what happens. 45, let's go on the M5. See how I haven't gone in the M1 yet, because our zones haven't been verified properly yet. So what I'm doing right now is just looking through it again, just reading price again to make sure that I'm reading price properly. If I was to look properly, ideally this will be the up move and then the down move breaking this point here. So let's just put that as here. The decision will be in there. So you don't go on the M1 unless you figured out your decisional and extreme confirmed. This one here is confirmed. This one here is also confirmed. We use the 45 minute to do it. 45 minute candle. So is this the last up candle? That is. So now we go on the M1. Go on the M1 now and see what happens. How's price reacting in this zone? Remember, the zone is big. We could go all the way up there. Zone is big. What does it look like? So already, in terms of us coming down to tap into this point here, we've broken a decisional for that. So we know that we're going straight to the extreme. And where would the extreme be? If it's not here, what led to the next one? This one will be fake. It will be this one. But remember, even these two are fake. Why? Because they didn't lead to the bigger structure here. This did. So that in fact, the inducement is actually all the way up here. So right now we just could be doing a retracement. However, they made it seem like it was a sell day profile, so people can start selling more. And then we're just using those liquidity to fuel price to go further up. Could be a scenario. But right now we just read price and see, because we don't know what the hell's going on. We have our zones marked out. But do we get a confirmation? We don't know. If we look at this now, what broke this? Something around here. So the trade could be short based. If we get the short in here, we could be trading it all the way to here. That's it. Following market structure. I mean daily profile and market structure. So let's see. We need both an inducement on EU and GU, and we need a breaker structure, a lower time frame confirmation. Let's see if we get it. So currently we've tapped into this tapped into that. We came down, currently failed to make a higher high. So this is the high so far. And this will be the high so far on here. This doing the inducement. But there's a break. We don't know. Let's wait and see. And then for you to know there's a break structure in the M1, I typically use this. Where's the last inducement? This point here. Which led to us going up, mitigating. This would be a decisional. Which led us to breaking and taking out this equal highs here. I mean, not equal highs, trend line here. If I look here, where's the inducement? The inducement happened here. So even if we tap this and let's say we break this, I'm not looking to sell straight away, bro. I need that breaker. I need that switch where buyers and sellers switched hands. That will be here. I want that to be broken. If that gets broken, let's see that on the M1. M1 will be this candle here being taken out. I mean, on the M5 will be this candle here being taken out. If I look on the M5 here, oh, see how with this one here, there's nothing really. Nothing really. So, do you really think we're going to get a breaker structure here? I don't think so. The read is looking long. So this is what you do. You just read price like this until you find something that fits your narrative. Don't just go on the charts and say, oh, I've seen a sweep of previous daily highs or previous 4-hour highs. Let me take a slow. But you're right in the head. No. But as we're looking, previous 4-hour low has been taken, right? And we tapped into this point here. So this could be the main driver of price right now, liquidity. Remember, liquidity runs the show, not market structure. Because, yeah, we know that we've done this and we could come down, but liquidity runs the show. So this could be the liquidity being taken, tapping into here. But we know that it's not really a tap. Look at the down candle. Look where we tapped into. There's no fair value gap below that you even tapped into and used. We could say we use this fair value gap here, but hey, that's all discretional. Nothing has happened yet. It's not like a broken structure. So yeah, man. So we went up, came down, went up again, taking out this high, came down. We haven't broken the structure. So what do you have? A manipulated 2-leg. You have leg number 1 coming down, leg number 2 coming down. Nothing's happened. We've swept this high. Both of them have done it. One of them made a higher high. One of them made a lower high. Hitting the extreme. This broke the extreme. So what's that telling us? You could say, oh, we're bullish on one side, or we're bearish on the other side. But to me, after we tapped into the extreme, we should have broken some sort of structure. Have you done it? We just broke the decisional. Nothing else yet. Just the decisional has been broken, and we've come down to tap. If we're looking at this range here, remember, this is all trend line. So the actual range started from, let's just say from here. So we came down, broke structure, hit the efficiency of the pullback, came down, and this will be the move up. So still, until Asia high has been disrespected, I still got my daily profile and market structure telling me that, yo, we're going down. However, liquidity is saying something else. And I need all 3 of them to be aligned. Market structure, liquidity, and of course, my daily profile. If they don't align, what's the point of taking a trade? What is the point? So you know that we're hitting these points here and we're not doing nothing. We're not reacting. This made a high. We're failing to make the high again. This made a high. It looks like we're about to break the high. Meaning the inducement was invalid. Remember, this zone goes all the way to here. Ideally. Somewhere out here. What led to this break here? Let's just put it to here. So we ain't really tapped into it yet. The extreme, we could also configure that and refine that to these points here. Right. But there's also equal highs here. So if we're to read, you know what, let's do this. Let's read price from on an M5 from the high inducement, like the main inducement that happened. What happened? So from here, we tapped it, we came and broke this decisional here and broke the extreme of that internal range. So we're bearish, right? But where was the inducement? It happened all the way up here. Where was the inducement? It happened all the way up. There's the last candle. This last candle here. So all the way down here. So yeah. Currently, we're just going up to mitigate. We're retracing right now. But remember, this hasn't broken any major structure on this time frame. On this time frame, it hasn't done nothing. The break structure would have been here. We haven't had that yet. So, hey. No trade. No trade. We just watch price and watch price do things that we never thought it could do. But yeah, as I was saying, I know I have different blue zones here. They're basically different time zones. All right. So this one being this range from here to there, or to this top here, you could say. But on a M15. So let me just do this. What was that? That was the decisional that we broke. Yeah. So this led to the decisional being broken, and we've come down to mitigate the extreme of that. So this is essentially an extreme, not a decisional. I know it gets confusing. Just view it as different two different time frames. I'm gonna try to simplify this more because I know even me, I do it a lot, but I just do it to the range we're currently in. So the range we're currently in, of course, we know that this is the decisional. This range here to bring us down. We had this sweep, another sweep here, done, and we're coming to take out all of this. So if I'm looking at that range there, this will be the last point that triggered everything to come down for us to tap into this point here. This will be the decisional. We've taken out the decisional. We're about to tap into the extreme right now. And when did that happen? This is just after Asia high. So Asia high has now been taken. Both Asia highs have been taken. What does that tell us? That the daily profile is not playing according to what we said. Asia high shouldn't be taken. So clearly we can see that this is a manipulated sell profile. If it's a manipulated sell profile, what can we do? If we want to be aggressive, we can trade that manipulation. So we know that, okay, cool. Asia has been taken. Now let's go on to M5. What led to that Asia high being broken? What led to this Asia high being taken? You could say it was this point here. But remember, this trade here, I don't normally take trades like this, but we're going to see if we get something. If we get something, why not? And it makes sense, why not? But this will be the decisional which led to all of these being broken. Let's just delete these now. We'll leave the extreme because we haven't broken that yet. But yeah, so this decisional has been broken. And we currently have, from this point, taken out all this liquidity, right? All this liquidity here. 1, 2, 3, 4. We've come taking all that liquidity, tapped into this, and we're going up. So what's the current bias right now? We're up. We're going up. We've met this supply here that is before Asia open. And if we're looking here, none of this makes sense because the break structure was a 1, breaking this point here, the decisional. Then we came all the way down to the extreme. The extreme being this point here. Here is what led price from here to go all the way here, breaking this structure here and breaking this one here. You see what I mean? So the decisional, yeah, you can find it as one candle on a lower time frame, but of course, remember, it's a big zone, it's a demand zone. So we just put out the first candle for now. If that gets disrespected, we will keep trailing it down. But if you, let's say, you had this sweep and came and tapped the first bit, there's no trade for you because where something like this could happen. This is what I was talking about yesterday. Was it yesterday or 2 days ago? Yeah, yesterday. And I said there's no point of you taking that trade because you had the efficiency of the pullback. Well, anyway, we know that, yeah, price is just going. There's no entry. Like, for you to try entering these points here, bro, you are a master of your work. Because I don't know how the fuck you're getting into something like this. Maybe here, because you could say, okay, cool, we've broken this. In fact, even that, yeah, this is just a demand zone that led to, is not the actual point that we will trade. This is just a demand zone after BOS. So it's weak. Oh, this one's weak. But it's weak. It can still respond to price. Like, it can still give the reaction we're using. I mean, we need. And it did. Look, we broke it. We used the weak one to carry on going up. So we know that later on, this can be done. But now, let's look at daily profile. Not daily profile, weekly profile. I want to see something quickly. In fact, let's go on a weekly. When was Monday? Let's do 1 hour. For to do weekly profiles, what looks like is at play right now. Let's go and find Monday. Monday was here. Oh, Monday was here. Wait, we're currently on Thursday. Oh, yeah, cool. Yeah, Monday was currently here. We start Monday here. So we have Monday. Monday's low being here. Monday's low has not been violated yet. Monday's low would be there. Monday's low has not been violated yet. Monday low is here. Monday's low has not been violated yet, as we can see. Monday's low hasn't been violated yet. Let's find Tuesday. I think if I do it on a 4H, it'll be better. I have all the, yeah, perfect. So Monday was here. This is the low for Monday. Monday's low didn't get taken. Where's Tuesday's low? Tuesday's low was essentially, Tuesday's low was here. Tuesday's low has been taken. What did it get taken by? Thursday's low. Thursday took out that low. So what could we expect? Thursday to go and make a high. Possible. For us to see. Let me try to find my weekly profiles, and we can try and line that up. So we could have a Thursday reversal. That's what it looks like right now. Thursday reversal. Because Wednesday low got broken from this inducement. However, we didn't break Monday's low. Meaning this is the demand zone that we're using. Monday's low. Where's Monday? The demand zone we're using is here. So obviously this point mitigated. This point hasn't mitigated yet, but we used this point here. Both of them had this point, which was the last demand, which led to this internal. This is internal, by the way. Internal high being broken and external high being broken. So we use that one. So now we confirmed it. What does it look like? It's an up day. And I'll show you what I mean by the daily profiles. Look. So Thursday reversal. Manipulation. Monday is a consolidation. So let's see. Monday, did we consolidate? Okay, we consolidated going up. Little trendy move. Monday, trendy move going up. Okay, can't really say that it was consolidating, but we did have some sort of consolidation here. Anyway, let's go on anticipation. The high, you have to know the higher time frame discount array. When the market fails to drop into that array, odds are Thursday we're likely to see the drive low Thursday on market driver news or rate around 2 p.m. Okay, so this is ideally meant to happen at 2 p.m. But Friday we make a high. So I think we're just going to keep going up. Maybe can't mitigate internal structures and keep going up until we break this. And Friday, I can look for this to be broken. Why? Because we had the major inducement with a divergence. Divergence was that GU tapped into the extreme. Divergence in EU is we broke structure. And then to qualify which one's in control, when we done so, we didn't break no relevant structures according to that time frame. So we're still bullish. We had an inducement which got countered. So it hasn't yet confirmed as an inducement. We had a sweep, but it's not a confirmed inducement. Do you understand where I'm coming from? It's not a confirmed inducement because we haven't broken structure yet. In fact, we've come and mitigated on the extremes. You can even say that this is an extreme. These will be the decisional. This would be the decisional that led to breaking this. This will be the decisional that led to breaking this. So I'll just put it as a decisional. Let's just say that. Again, this one here is a decisional that led to, in fact, this one's already broken. So this one's just a demand zone that we tapped into. All right. So, yeah. You fib guys out there, let's just use fib. Where did that happen? 50% is here. 0.6. So ideally we could go here, come further down, and then go up. Hey, who knows? But currently, all I know is there's no trade for me right now. Price is just going up. Where we understand why it's going up, where it's hit, and what it's doing according to daily profiles and weekly profiles. So yeah, nothing here on German. I mean, GU and EU. Let's go on German. So German, German 4H. What do we also have here? So remember that thing we were talking about? It's a shame we didn't get to tap into this point here, but it's not a must in it. We have candle number 1, candle number 2, candle number 3. We came into candle number 3's fair value gap. So it is valid for us to still move down. We don't always have to come to the extreme. This just means that the sell pressure is a lot, or we're just creating liquidity. Tap into this point here. People who have their sells here, price goes violated. Because why? We've tapped into this demand zone that we was expecting price to tap into. And we said this was smart money trap. If you watch my previous videos, as I was saying, we were in a complex pullback. However, this was a smart money trap. And it confirmed. And plus, it was also a Monday low. Meaning it's a weekly low. But yeah, So currently on this one, what do we have? The range we're trading will be currently, obviously we're bullish in it because we have demand zone extreme being tapped with a liquidity cycle. All right, with a liquidity cycle, breaking this point here. Oh. Breaking this down candle, which led to us coming into here. This liquidity cycle went and took that out. So the next point we could be looking for price to tap into would be here. From this point here to this point here. Ooh. Let's just put that supply. Oh fuck, I didn't save that supply. Let me go back on it and save it. Where was that supply? Yeah. Save as supply. Save. And let's go on this one. If you go on this one, I know that this is a supply. Alright. Supply. But we're not expecting it to hold. It could, but we're not expecting it to hold because we tapped into this extreme. Supply. Where the hell are ya? Shit. Alright, cool. Wait, it didn't change. What? Supply. Did I not save that? Oh, Lord of mercy. Alright, supply. Let's just save that as supply. Save. Yes. Yes. Why are you still not changed? Okay, cool. Now let's go on a lower time frame. M30, just to start with. You know that this is the breaker structure that we had. Alright. Let me just delete this point here. And now let's read the inducements. So obviously, let me just make this look a bit nicer. We had this point here, this trend line here, done. Hit the efficiency of the pullback, we came down. Hit the efficiency of the pullback again, we came down, done a sweep. Then we had this breaker structure here. Cool. What led to that breaker structure? We have this decisional Asia range. Well, Asia supply. We done that. So this will be the that's what I was gonna do. This will be the decisional, which led to that. Hence why we came and tapped it. Why is it decisional? Because it's the one that led to this break. These inducements powered it. These were the buyers that led to that be broken. As you can see, it was mitigating this point here as the efficiency of the pullback. Oh. See, came up here, tapped it, came down, came up here, didn't even tap it like that. In fact, if we were to use the full candle, went up here, tapped it, tapped the open of that candle here, came down, went here, tapped the edge of it, the wick. Right? Why am I trying to make it look perfect? But you get the gist. Tap the wick, came down, induced this point here, full price up. This was the last point that moved price up. Cool. Price came down in inducement here, didn't fulfill, tapped into this point here. This is the new inducement. Inside it, decisional. Oh, this will be the inducement inside the decisional, which led to the break of here. So where is our next demand zone? It will be here. It was an extreme, but remember, it's this whole point here because consecutive candles are basically like an order block. You can learn that from thing, but I'll just refine it to this point here. If I go on at M15, let's see. Okay, from here we went up, mitigated, went up, mitigated, went up, mitigated again. So what does that look like? You might just consider the whole zone and use this fair value gap. M30, let's count the candles. Candle number 1, candle number 2, candle number 3. This fair value gap here. So it makes sense. It makes sense. But once again, there's no trade. But if we're to look at the daily profile and see what happened, let's just mark out. This is open. This is Frankfurt open. Between that and that, what happened? We was meant to break this low. We failed to do that because market structure said otherwise. So we fooled people in, went up. Fooled people thinking this would be the inducement to come down, breaking this. It didn't. London open, it was right here. We just shifted up. So today, London is not looking the best. There's nothing really here. We've sat here for 49 minutes just reading price. This is what you get sometimes. But it's better to go through this than to just go into the charts and say, oh, I see a liquidity issue, so let me take the trade. What's going to happen to you? You're going to get fucked. That's what you're going to do. You're going to get fucked. But yeah, London, there's no trade. Daily profile is not respecting. Supply, ideally, is all the way up here. The inducement supply, this wick here. This inducement supply did not break no structure, so this is even weak. Let's put weak there. We read weekly profile. It says Monday, we didn't take no low. Tuesday, we came and took, Tuesday, we came, kept going. Wednesday, we arranged. All right. Then we had this move up here. Then Thursday, what happened? We came down from Wednesday to Thursday. Opening on Thursday, we came and tapped into this extreme here. And then let me just remove this point because it's no longer needed. And we tapped into this point and we're going up. So where could we possibly go up to? Where was the break? This internal break, it was here, BOS here, and it was a one leg, not a two leg. So don't get confused and think, oh, it's a two leg, so somewhere here. No, it's a one leg from this point here to here. Look at the wick. From this point here to this point here, breaking this point, it was a one leg. This is just after BOS, so it's weak. Doesn't mean that we can't respect it. We can, of course, but it's weak. So to me, it's more likely to go above it. If not, maybe we come here, this being a breaker that led to us being here. Break is here, tapping into this point here, could make our way back down. But hey, we can't. It's all a 50-50 thing right now because daily profile is not on our side. Liquidity is saying something else. Market structure is also saying something else according to our theory for the day. So no trade. There is no trade. Some people might have caught trades into this in this price action. Good for them, but we didn't. So we just sit back, relax, and wait for maybe Friday. If I was to look at the news, Friday, do we have any crazy thing going on? Okay, I'm going EU. What's this Tuesday? Fridays is nothing. See, Friday there's nothing. So it's best to wait for Friday. Because our key window is about to finish in 2 minutes. Nothing was presented. We just wait for New York and see what happens. But New York, it might even be tricky as well because London didn't follow nothing. Well, we know that obviously the daily profile was disrespected. So we could be trading against the daily profile. That's there for us to look at New York. But as for today, London session, there was nothing. But yeah, man, this is the end. Subscribe if you learn something in this video. Comment it below just to highlight it for anyone else that wants to learn something in this video. And yeah, man, love for joining the journey. And let's keep running it. So I'll catch you lot at New York session. Peace.